Let's talk about what is muster stations. The muster stations is a place on the ships where you gather in case of an emergency such as abandoned ship. At the muster stations, mustering or hand count of everyone is conducted. There are designated positions depending on your rank. The muster stations usually located in open deck near lifeboat or lake rocks. In the event of an emergency, crew members at the muster stations provide life jackets, give instructions on safety procedures, and guide passengers on the next steps, whether it be waiting for further orders or proceeding to evacuation points. What is the procedures in the different types of emergency? The first one is the fire alarm. Once the fire alarm goes off, the fire must be extinguished immediately as it starts. Each crew member has designated tasks in case of a fire and they must execute them properly. It is necessary to wear firefighting equipment such as fire suit, breathing apparatus, and more. All firefighting equipment must be functional and in good conditions before being used for firefighting. General alarm. In a general alarm, it consists of 7 short blasts followed by 1 long blast, and then followed by a public announcement from the master or the captain. Once the general alarm is sounded and the announcement is made, the crew and passengers must proceed to muster stations for a head count. The crew distributes life-saving appliances as needed. The instructions given during a general alarm depend on the type of emergency. Abandoned ship. The abandoned ship procedures begins with the general alarm followed by a public announcement from the master or captain instructing everyone to proceed with the abandoned ship. The crew and passengers must quickly proceed to the muster stations and undergo in head count. The crew will distribute life-saving appliances such as life jackets. Other crew members will release the lifeboats or life rafts, especially if the lifeboats are compromised due to the ship's stability. Man overboard signal. In the procedure for the man overboard signal, the crew must ensure that the persons who fell on board is never out of sight. The man overboard procedures begins with 3 long blasts. The ship will turn based on the location where the person fell. When the ship is near the person overboard, a lifeboat must be thrown to them or an emergency rescue boat must be launched to rescue the person. CO2 alarm. In the event of CO2 alarm on the ship, the crew must follow a well-established emergency procedures to prevent harm and effectively control the fire. The alarm, typically triggered by heat or smoke detection in high-risk areas like the engine room, cargo holds, or electrical spaces, signals that need immediate action. When the alarm sounds, the crew must ensure that all personnel evacuate the affected area and proceed to the safe zones, as CO2 can be hazardous to human life. Crew members should quickly check and confirm that all hatches, doors, and vents leading to the protected area are properly sealed to contain the CO2 and prevent it from escaping to other parts of the ships. Personnel wearing appropriate personal protective equipment such as breathing apparatus. Once the emergency is over, the incident is reviewed in detail by senior officers and the ship's safety team to ensure that the fire suppression systems work effectively and that all crew members follow the correct procedures. Engineer School. Critical response to machinery or technical issues that could affect the vessel's operation or safety. The engineer school is often triggered by an alarm, which can be either mechanical or electrical in nature, or by a direct communication from the bridge or other ship departments noticing a problem. The engineer's team's rapid response is essential to avoid delays or escalations of the issues, which could compromise the ship's safety, maneuverability, or ability to complete its voyage, depending on the severity of the issue. Cargo hold flooding. The ship's crew will begin by isolating the flood hold, closing all watertight bulkhead doors to prevent the water from spreading to the other sections of the ships. Once isolated, the crew activates the bilge systems to remove water from the affected hold. At the same time, the ship's ballast systems may be adjusted to redistribute weight and maintain balance, preventing a potential risk of dangerous trip. The crew will also assess the situations for any signs of damage to the ship's structure of the cargo, which could further compromise safety or the ship's integrity. In cases where the flooding results in cargo shifting. Engine room flooding. In the event of engine room flooding, the procedure begins immediately after the general alarm is sounded. Alerting the crew to a critical emergency, the first response is to contain the flooding by isolating the area through closing all watertight doors, bulkheads, and hatches, which are designed to prevent water from spreading to other parts of the ship. The chief engineer and other key personnel assess the damage and decide whether further actions is needed to maintain the ship's stability, such as adjusting ballast or ensuring that fuel and water systems are not compromised. If the conditions worsens, the captain may be decide to abandon ship, in which case the crew will initiate the process of guiding passengers to master stations, ensuring they are not equipped with life jackets and preparing the lifeboats or life rafts for launch. And last, the importance of training drills. Training drills are necessary to become familiar with potential situations that may arise. These drills prepare individuals on how to execute procedures during different emergencies that may occur and be encountered. They also help prevent panic as individuals will be familiar with such situations. Drills are also help identify potential weaknesses in safety procedures and equipment, allowing for improvements before a crisis arises. Practices promote a culture of preparedness and teamwork, ensuring that everyone on board knows their responsibilities and can act swiftly under pressure.